Is Indigo too big to fail? Are they guilty of holding the country to ransom? These are questions that must be asked after the airline's breathtaking ascent and the chaos that its extraordinary domination of the aviation sector has unleashed over the past few days. On Friday afternoon, even the government body was forced to yield to the giant of our skies and roll back rules for added safety temporarily. Yet the meltdown that saw 1,000 flights on Friday being cancelled hasn't died down. Saturday saw 800 flights, and we have reports of 650 flights being cancelled on Sunday. What brought on this chaos? Let us talk to retired Wing Commander A. Mahesh, a former military pilot, and get his views.
Of course, Indigo's market share is so large, even though it is not a technical monopoly, but it behaves like a monopoly. When a single airline like Indigo controls more than half of the domestic market, aviation market in India, the alternatives are very limited for the passengers and customers. And any disruption in the operations of an airline like Indigo immediately impacts the whole country's aviation system. Definitely, the ongoing crisis has led to airlines hiking the prices, and the fares have gone skyrocketed. So now, what the government can do is implement long-term fair price regulations instead of temporarily putting caps on the fares on whenever an emergency situation arises. And regarding the FTTL rules, of course, have contributed to the present crisis, but they are not the sole reason. The real problem lies in Indigo's internal planning and, I would say, mismanagement. By not keeping enough spare crew, operating in a very thin buffer system, and not preparing adequately for sudden changes like this. So the crisis is not due to FTTL alone, but it's Indigo's its own operational or managerial mismanagement is the main reason. Emirates also contributed indirectly to the crisis. Recently, Emirates have recruited many cabin crew and cockpit crew of Indigo Airlines by offering them more pay and benefits. And this has indirectly contributed to the crisis. This poaching has removed many cockpit crew from Indigo, especially in major hubs like Delhi and Mumbai. And this has contributed to the ongoing crisis. Definitely, Indigo is bearing the brunt for its lean management, we can say, because they have been operating on a lean management system with a cost-effective model. But now they are paying what we can say is for the price for running too lean for a too long time. And the current crisis, as we all know, is an nationwide aviation meltdown triggered by the Indigo's operational collapse. Having known that, there are two sides to look into it, because the new norms have come, FTTL norms have come, rules have come, limiting the flying hours to 8 hours. So the pilot who has been flying for 12 hours is now restricted to 8 hours. Then now 4 operational hours are taken off from a pilot. So many number of pilots, so many flights. So 4 hours or 2 hours taken off from the operational duty amounts to shortage of manpower, that we can understand. But what makes me more striking to me is that the DGCA has stated Indigo is facing a crisis of shortage of 65 pilots. So now that makes the scene very unreasonable and disproportionate, because a deficiency or shortage of 65 pilots causing cancellation of thousands of flights is quite unreasonable. This is a subject matter which needs to be investigated. So what would I suggest is the government should investigate, once this crisis is over, the government should investigate this matter by a high-level agency like CBI to investigate whether anyone is to be held responsible for holding the nation and the entire aviation industry of the nation for ransom.